Water. Why Ken's wrong. Water enables all life on Earth. Find out how Ken Wheeler takes this simple and obvious observation and twists it into bizarre claims that would pose a public nuisance if anyone were to believe them. As we all know, water is essential to life. We can live for a month or two without food, but we can't go more than a day or two without water. Our bodies are about 60% water. That percentage can be as high as 90% for some organisms. Ken Wheeler raises the subject of water in his videos quite frequently, and his views on water fall into two broad categories. Most of what the Theoria Apophasis creator says about water is blatantly obvious, while the rest of his water pronouncements are logical fallacies. His central, supernatural claim about water is that it's the antenna of the consubstantiality of spirit and matter. As usual with the angry photographer, that's a mouthful, so let's break his assertion down. We'll start with water molecules. As we know, water consists of two hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom. The atom in the middle and the hydrogen atoms at the edges form a V-shape. Another word for this kind of arrangement is a dipole, because the oxygen and the hydrogen atoms have opposite polarities. The word dipole can also refer to directional radio antennas with similar V-shapes and polarities. The most familiar but old-fashioned type of dipole antenna is the set of rabbit ears on old-school TVs with two metal rods joined by an electrical connection at the base. Having noticed that H2O molecules and dipole areals are both V-shaped, Kentucky Ken claims he's made the irreducibly irrefutable discovery that water is an antenna connecting spirit and matter. In support of this peculiar notion, the YouTuber behind Theoria Apophasis offers a special kind of triangle to which he's attached. It's an isosceles triangle with the angles 108, 36, and 36. We cover this triangle in more detail under Golden Ratio, Why Ken's Wrong. Ken Wheeler insists that the angle of a water molecule's V-shape is the same 108 degrees as his revered triangle. As always, he's wrong. The actual angle of the two hydrogen atoms bonded to the central oxygen atom is 104.5 degrees. The Theoria Apophasis creator has some even more idiosyncratic views about H2O. He claims that water has a mind of its own. Apparently, Ken Wheeler once stored several jugs of distilled water on shelves in his kitchen. Two of the jugs sprang a leak, and Ken had to mop up the mess. Readers may not find this story noteworthy, and obviously it's not. However, Ken Wheeler attributes these spills to the water wanting to break from the prison of that jug. Of course, there's a much simpler explanation that covers all the facts. It's called plastic failure, and it can be caused by the material used, poor design, sloppy manufacturing processes, or improper handling. Viewers can judge for themselves. Which seems more likely? The water somehow came to life, or the jugs were leaky? Kentucky Ken also has issues with U.S. tap water, which comes from natural sources like wells, springs, rivers, and lakes. After households and industries have used the water, it flows into municipal sewage systems for treatment. After the water passes through sewage treatment plants, most utilities return treated wastewater to separate natural water bodies for even further dilution. The important point is that no community in the United States uses reclaimed wastewater as tap water. Although treated wastewater would be safe to drink, out of an abundance of caution, regulations prohibit using it as tap water. The Theoria Apophasis presenter claims, "I've never drank from the tap in my life." He tells his viewers he drinks bottled mineral water almost exclusively. Ken Wheeler wrongly believes that tap water has passed through municipal sewage filtration systems. He goes so far as to call it recycled toilet water. This is patently false. The angry photographer rationalizes this phobia by claiming that the water is quantitatively pure, but not qualitatively pure. Since he believes tap water contains reclaimed wastewater and that it has a memory, he thinks tap water is defiled forever. Once again, Ken Wheeler offers no explanation or evidence in support of this qualitative impurity, or that reclaimed wastewater makes its way into tap water, or that water has a mind or a memory. It seems the thought of water treatment removing dirty cooties simply makes him feel icky. It's odd to have so many phobias and misconceptions about something one believes is the source of all life. It's also hard to misunderstand something as simple in principle as water, but Ken Wheeler somehow manages it. These demonstrably false notions about dipole antennas, reclaimed wastewater, and water consciousness could become a serious public nuisance if anyone took them seriously. So it's important for Ken Wheeler's viewers to completely disregard everything he has to say about good old H2O. Instead, go boil some tap water, add some tea or coffee, savor it, and just let all of Ken Wheeler's foolishness drift away.